I've been able to maintain the same weight for the last year without tracking a single thing. I know that I can come to Marina with anything and that I will still feel supported and loved, you know?
And the little money that you are making at 19, be like, I'm gonna invest in a coach.
That was the best investment I've ever made.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I bring you another client testimony. The idea behind client testimonies is that it's my attempt at going deeper than the before and after pictures, because here's the thing. I've always posted before and after pictures of my clients, but I've always been frustrated in that the pictures don't even begin to scratch the surface of how beautiful a fitness transformation and a fitness journey can truly be. And all of the best parts of a fitness journey are the work that's happening inside of you, right? Emotionally and mentally. In today's client testimony, I bring you my client, Skylar. Skylar and I have known each other for almost 3 years now, which is crazy because I feel like I met her literally yesterday. But she started working with me back in 2022 when she was literally 19 freaking years old. She had just graduated high school and she was kind of asking herself, what do I do now that my high school basketball career is over? What do I do to keep myself fit? How do I eat like an adult? And she sought out coaching to kind of help herself answer those questions. It has been so amazing to see her mature and grow up into the beautiful young lady that she is today. She is someone that, even though we're not working with each other anymore, I still speak with her regularly, almost every day, if not every day. She has always amazed me with how intelligent and mature she is for her age. I mean, she's only like 3 years younger than me, but you get the picture. Without further ado, meet Skylar. Who were you before coaching?
I was 19 when I came to Marina, so I was like freshly out of high school.
I can't believe you were 19.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. But I found you when I was like 16, I think, on TikTok. I found you because your Strong Girls Fitness Club Kennesaw came up on my TikTok, and you were like, look at, I made a women's only gym, and I was like, fuck, I need this in my life. Like, and so I obviously follow because anytime I see a TikTok that I even like slightly resonate with, I'm like, follow. But I was like, okay, I'm like, I'm a little 16-year-old girl, like I'm still in high school, like I'm not ready for whatever, like I don't know lifting, I don't know nutrition, I'm just like a basketball player. Like that's who I was my whole life. And then my nutrition was horrible. I was eating very chaotically and just kind of like whatever was close when I was hungry, and I wasn't like proactively eating. I wasn't eating to fuel my body.
Wait, explain to the people listening, what is a chaotic eater and what is proactive eating versus reactive eating? That's a good thing to elaborate on.
Okay, so chaotic eating for me, it was just like I wouldn't eat until I was like, oh my god, I'm starving. And then when I was like, okay, well, what's close? It's highly palatable foods. It's like not awesome, super nutritious foods that are going to keep me full for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And it was just like whatever was like quick, I was just grabbing it. It wasn't like, okay, I'm putting like a lot of thought into like, okay, protein's going to keep me full for a pretty long time. Like I should prioritize that. Okay, vegetables are going to help my digestion. I should probably eat a vegetable. No, it was like, for me, it was like, oh, cup of noodles is at the 7-Eleven down the road. Like I'm just going to walk to the 7-Eleven, come back, eat my cup of noodles. Like that was it.
For those of you out there listening, this is kind of, I would say, like the standard American diet. Most people put very little thought into what they eat. They go to work, they're at work. If they have time to eat, they might grab something on the go, and then maybe they'll eat something at the end of the day. Like, people don't realize that that's a source of a lot of people's trouble with their health, with their weight, etc., etc.
Yeah. So while I was in high school, a personal trainer, like local to my area, actually reached out to me, and I was like, oh, like he was saying, you're going to get really strong. You're going to, improve all of these things that you're like going to use in basketball. So I was like, hell yeah, like, of course I'm going to do it. So I went to a couple sessions with him. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I love the gym. I love lifting. Like, the things that we're doing are really cool. Like, I feel myself getting stronger each week, like I'm building muscle, I'm building momentum, I'm getting stronger, I'm running faster, I'm hitting all these things that I want to hit. And I worked with him for about 1.5 years. And then we were deadlifting one day, and the way that he had programmed it was so that every week it was more weight, regardless of how the reps were looking, regardless of if I was tired that week. It was very much just like the priority was lift more weight. That was it. for me, like, that wasn't my truth. Like, you know, some weeks I'm really strong, some weeks I'm not as strong.
That wasn't my truth.
It was not my truth, baby. Like, no. And so we get to a point where we're breaking 200 pounds, and I'm like, wow, like, this is a lot of weight. I'm in high school. Like, I'm feeling so strong. You know, and again, at this point, I'm not fueling my workouts properly. So, like, I come in, I've barely eaten that day, and I wasn't feeling super strong, but I was like, I want to break 200 pounds. Like, that's it. That's all I want to do. So we're deadlifting, and we're going, I think it was like 6 to 8 reps every set, and the last set that I did there was 205. Last rep, dropped the bar. I was like, oh, okay, like, my back, something just tweaked. I felt it immediately, but I was like, you know what? Deadlifting, you're gonna have back pain. It's normal. Push through it. Like, you're fine. Was not fine. So instead of just listening to my body, I kept lifting. I finished the workout, and then I woke up the next day and I was in excruciating pain. Like, I could not get up. I could not walk around. Like, it hurt so bad. And I was like, okay, so, like, something's really messed up back there. Like, I don't know what's happened, but clearly I shouldn't have been doing that much weight. And so I messaged my trainer and I'm like, hey, I'm in a lot of pain today. Like, I don't think that I should have pushed it this much. It's not just, like, a little soreness. It's pain. And I'm trying to explain it to this man. He's just like, no, you're fine. Like, that's normal with deadlifting. Like, da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, like, I'm actually, like, I can't stand up straight. Like, I was hunched over for probably 3 days.
He was like,
no, you're fine, babe.
Is weakness leaving the body.
Literally the energy of this man. A couple weeks go by. I'm like, okay, well, I can't keep going like this. Like, at this point, it's probably like a 6 out of 10 pain. And then, like, 3 weeks later, I go see a chiropractor. They take x-rays. They show me my x-rays. They're like, your spine's twisted. You have 3 fractures in it. And I go through pretty intense, like, chiropractic treatment for, like, 3 months. And then I still see my chiropractor regularly now. But for, like, 3 months, I was seeing him 3 to 4 times a week because we were trying to get the twist undone. And watching the video back, knowing what I know now from me deadlifting that day that I got hurt, I twisted in my lift. Like, I wasn't just going straight up, straight down. Like, I was fully twisting. And so
I know exactly
he was like,
what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he was like, that's 100% why your spine's like this. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I had no idea. Obviously, like, this is my first experience in the gym. This is my first experience lifting weights like this. Like, I didn't know anything. Fast forward to, like, 6-ish months later, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to get back into lifting. I'm feeling better. I go back to the same dude again, the same trainer, because his facility was really nice, like, and his programming for the most part was pretty good, aside from the fact that he was pushing it. And I told him when I came back, I was like, I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna push it if I don't feel like I can push it. And he was like, oh, like, you know, that's just not, you know, like, you're not gonna get better like that, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, all right, whatever, block you out. Let me just get the lift in. I'm paying you for the programming. I'm paying you for the facility, essentially. A singular month went by, and then when the next month came to, like, renew, I was like, no, I'm not gonna renew. I got this. I've lifted with you for, at this point, it was like a year-ish, I want to say, that I had lifted with him. But I know that now I have a passion for lifting, and I'm really pretty good at it for being 18. So, I had loved lifting. I found my safe place. Like, the gym, I felt like I can be whoever I want. You know, I'm not really concerned about whoever else is there. But I'm just, like, again, looking up these little, like, Instagram workouts, whatever the girlies are posting, that's what I'm doing. There's no progressive overload. There's no, like, rhyme or reason to what's happening. And I did that for a really long time, and I was like, okay, we're just kind of, you know, going through the motions, but we're not really, like, working towards anything. And this was the point where your content, like, really had resurfaced on my feed and stuff. And I was like, you know, like, I want to figure out a goal. I want to work towards something, but I can't do it alone. Like, I need someone else to help me, but it's not that guy that I was working with previously. And I had known that. I was like, no, like, I really liked the fact that he was programming me and that he was, you know, scheduling the frequency of my workouts, but just, like, the way that he was training and all the way that he went about his business was not for me. And I was like, that's fine, you know, whatever, move past it. And I was just kind of, like, silently following you. And then somewhere in there, that, like, 6-month period, I was taking a class and we had to write about someone that inspired us. And so I wrote about Marina. And
by the way,
point,
I didn't know this until, like, yesterday. She just told me this.
I didn't even know you. Like, I just wrote about the things you were posting about. I wrote about the way your business is growing. I wrote about the fact that I had followed you for, like, 3 or 4 years at this point. Like, because that was, like, 2023, I want to say. So I wrote this whole paper, and I was like, Marina is so inspiring. Like, da-da-da-da-da. She's hitting her goals. She's doing this. She's growing her business. And eventually I was like, okay, well, you just wrote this whole paper about this lady and you're not even going to inquire with her. Like, you don't have the balls to inquire with her. I was like, really? So then I was like, okay, hype myself up, like, find my goal. Obviously, I had known, like, you know, you're doing nutrition, you're doing the programming, you're doing form checks, like, all of these things. And so I was like, you know, I think I'd really get a lot of value from that. And so then I inquired with you. We immediately hit it off.
We did.
So, like, literally we were just like, hey, first day of the call.
Y'all get excited on the call. I get excited too. Like, when we hang up, I'll go talk to my boyfriend. I'll be like, babe, oh my God, I just talked to this new client. She's so cool.
And then she was like, well, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to get out of this? And I was like, well, I really like lifting a lot of weight. And I think that I would want to compete in powerlifting someday. And she was like, okay, hell yeah, like, let's do it. We started programming that, and then you had asked about my eating patterns, and I was like, that's super funny you mentioned that, because that's not at all, like, I know nothing about that. I don't know anything about, like, eating right. I don't know whole food, like, what is a whole food? Like, you could have told me it was the grocery store and I would have believed you. Again, like I said before, like, I was very chaotic in my eating patterns. I would just eat whenever, wherever, like, it didn't matter. And then sometimes if I was hungry, I would just be like, okay, what's the closest thing to me? That's what I'm eating. We started, like, locking in nutrition, started locking in my workouts. I had, you know, this routine. I had my spreadsheet. I would type my little numbers in every week. And I felt like a huge goal shift in that, because I was like, okay, you know, like, now I'm working towards this thing. I feel like I can, you know, get a lot stronger in this program. Eventually, we get to a point when I was kind of just like, maybe powerlifting's not for me. Like, let's try and do a little power building situation. So I still have, like, those pretty strong, like, compound lifts, the deadlift, the squat, the bench, but I'm, like, mixing in more, like, bodybuilding style training. Yeah, so then I kind of hit this, like, switch with my training style. Life got crazy. It was like, because I think we started in, like, April, so at this point it was, like, middle of summer, and I was kind of like, I want to go live my life. And so that's, like, I found myself every year, like, that's consistently what happens, is I'm like, okay, it's summer, like, I want to live my life, of course. But I also was prioritizing things that were protein and vegetables, and I had made that shift mentally without even recognizing it, but, like, mentally I was like, okay, well, this won't make you feel good, but this will make you feel really good, so I'm going to choose this option. So we did the first 6 months. Through the winter, I, again, was kind of just fell off. I was still working out pretty hard, but I was just not, like, there wasn't a certain goal that I wanted to get to. So I inquired with you, and we restarted that in, like, February the next year, I want to say. And I was like, Marina, I think I'm ready for a cut. Like, I think, you know, I've been eating good all winter, you know, I was feeling good. And I was like, I think I'm ready to do it. Like, I want guidance on my first cut, because, like, I've just been, you know, freestyling this for however many years of my life at this point. I was like, but I need the guidance, right? We started the cut in, like, February, March, I want to say. And then I knew I was traveling May and June, but I was like, you know what? We're going to just go as hard as we can until then, see what happens, and then, you know, reverse and all that. So the cut goes phenom. It was beautiful, gorgeous, sunshine rainbows. And then
do you remember how much we lost? I don't even remember.
10 pounds.
Okay.
Like, I think on the dot it was like 10 flat. It was like week 11 when I went to Australia. And then I came back and I actually had lost weight on that trip. And I wasn't tracking, if anything, like, literally zero. I tracked nothing. And and I didn't even weigh myself while I was there. The only thing I did was like count my steps. I came back and I felt so good. I was like, I feel re-inspired. Like, let's lock in and get the last 5 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever, at that point. Because I travel again in 4 weeks. So I had gone to Sweden. I think I was gone total of like 3 weeks. And when I was going to Sweden, the week before that was the last week of the cut, and I was like, okay, at this point, I'm starting the reverse. I didn't really track anything while I was traveling, but then I come back and I'm still down another pound from that trip. But I wasn't lifting during any of my traveling. I was just walking, like getting my steps in, and it was honestly, like, I came back and I felt so good, because I was like, I am confident that I now can travel and still make these smart choices and still make these goal-aligned decisions. And then we reversed through that summer, which was last year. After the summer came, I was like, well, I think I just want to maintain, like, I'm really chilling where I'm at. And I wasn't tracking, but I was like, I am confident now that I can properly fuel myself without tracking, and also still making goal-aligned decisions. And you said, yes, like, let's do it. So I was like, I'm done tracking. I'm just going to maintain. I got this, and I've been able to maintain the same weight for the last year without tracking a single thing. Like, I haven't tracked over a year. Now eating right is just my day to day. I don't even think about it anymore. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm going to the grocery store. What am I going to get? I'm going to prioritize my protein, my vegetables, and a couple of carb sources. Like, I don't need all this other stuff. Like, sure, I'll get some, like, Cheez-Its here and there, but it's not like, oh, we're getting, all of these hyper-palatable foods that are fried, super sugary. I'm still eating what I want. Like, that's something, like, I mean to emphasize so much more than I am, because I'm still eating, like, whatever I want, pretty much. But just, I've learned how to do it in such a way through coaching that is like, okay, so maybe you only eat one serving. Like, how much is one serving? Okay, put one serving in a bowl so you're not sitting there with the whole sleeve of Oreos. There's things you can do to where you still can have those fun foods. You can still have the treats. You can still have all of this, but you don't necessarily have to sit there and eat the whole bag.
Where did you learn this mindset stuff? Because you know this, like, something that I'm always talking about online is how mindset is 90% of it. You don't get coaching because I have magical answers and magical secrets, and I'm going to give you that final trick that you were missing that's going to finally make you lose the weight. It's like, no, the trick is the mindset stuff.
Yeah.
And when the why is powerful enough, the how becomes easy. So I remember when I first started working with you, I was like, why are you so... You were just down to do anything that I said. And I remember asking you about your background, and you told me that your background in basketball kind of shaped a lot of your mindset. And could you speak on that a little bit, actually?
So, growing up, I went to basketball camp every summer, which so thankful I did. And this particular camp was not at all like the toxic kind of sort of like, well, if you're doing this, you need to be doing this. Like, if you're working out really hard, you need to be eating like 3 crackers a day. Like, it was not that type of vibe. And all they talked about was mindset and like coachability and how a growth mindset versus a static mindset, fixed mindset. Thank you.
They taught you that?
Yeah. Like, this is literally what they talk about, is how to be coachable, how to listen to your coach, like, how to be the best you can be in basketball. I have a whole, like, 5-subject notebook full of notes that, like, I still have it because I'm like, there's so much value in here. They taught me so many things that were life after basketball. Like, it was not just basketball, it was how to be a good person. The stuff they were saying rings true in every aspect of your life. And so that was definitely where a bunch of, like, my mindset and personal growth things have come from. But I also just think I was very much on, like, inspirational talk. Like, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I was very much on, like, check your boxes and do your things. And somewhere in this, like, starting to work with you, I found Kenzie Vance. And, we love her. We love Kenzie.
We love her.
But she preaches the whole thing. She's like, she's a bodybuilder, for those of you that don't know. And she's very much like, no BS, check your boxes, I don't care what you have to do type of energy. And for me, as someone that was just, now inquiring with a coach, I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I have to do this. I have to be this, ask the questions, check the boxes, like, do all these things. And it works. Shocker, I know. But it really works. Like, if you're not sticking to the plan, if you're not being honest with your coach, like, you're not going to see the results that your coach is, telling you that they can see. Like, of course, if someone inquires with you and they see your transformation, they don't understand that maybe you're checking your boxes every single day. You're getting your steps in, you're training hard, you're eating right, I think a lot of people, that's the missing piece, is they don't understand all the time that you have to check the boxes every single day. It's not when you feel like it. It's not when you want to. It's every day. When the days when you don't want to, they count twice. You know what I'm saying?
You check your boxes, and you check your boxes like you love doing it. That's such a David Goggins thing to say, but I remember I told Skylar, we were texting yesterday, and I was like, just so you know, you were one of my first compliant clients. One of the first ones who I was just in shock that everything that I told you to do, you did it. Right? Because just because you get a coach doesn't mean you're going to do what your coach says, unfortunately. And you're right. You got the results. Yeah, and you did it like you loved it. Because you did, and you wanted to be there. You had worked on your mindset so much that you got to a place where you were like, this is something that I get to choose. I get to go to the gym. I get to have a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember always being super impressed with you. Getting on our call and being like, how does this 19-year-old know who she is and knows what she wants? Because I didn't know who I was and what I wanted to do when I was 19, Yeah. And to be 19 and the little money that you are making at 19, be like, I'm going to invest in a coach. You know what I mean? Whereas
that was the best investment I've ever made. Hands down. Hands down. Because, I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how to feel my body. I didn't know what I was doing. And at that point, that's where it's crucial. That was a year and a half, I want to say, maybe, a year and a half before I moved out of my house and I was on my own. If I had never done that, Marina, I would be just cup noodles every day. There's a carrot in here today. That's my vegetables. Truly. That's what it would have been. And
then you moved out and you were living on your own, and then you got a coach again. But now you had bills to pay and stuff, and you still prioritized coaching.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't come around and be like, well, you're 19, you don't have any bills, this and that.
Okay, well, you're going to spend that on Shein anyway. You're gonna go on your shopping sprees anyway. And, I get it. I was there, I got coaching when I was 19. I was making very little money. I had bills at that time that I was paying. Of course, I was living at my mom's house, but in that time, I was still, I had the knowledge that, a coach is exactly what I needed because I didn't know what I was doing, and that I was going to get a lot out of it if I just checked my boxes off, if I listened. If I had come to you and I said, I want to be coached, but then I was going off and doing whatever I was doing, not responding to you, not sending you form checks, not eating right, not eating, if I had just been wild and out, then it would have been okay, why are you spending this much money? But it's that's not what I was doing. I was taking everything I could out of it. I would send you every single set of my workouts. I was Marina, okay, this is what it felt like here, every single time. I was okay, this set felt like this is, okay, what do I need to change for next set, and you're very responsive. You were sending me those back right away, instant feedback. And I was okay, girl, this set, we're locking in, and it was just, and at this point, we weren't even doing, FaceTime calls. I was sending you my videos, every set. Mm-hmm. And I was I'm probably so annoying. I was I text her so much. I send her so many messages. I send her all these videos. This is probably way too much. I was but I got so much out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you were at one point, I remember you were no, Skylar, this is what I'm here for. She's please use me. She's this is my job. This is what I love. Please. And so I was okay, now I don't feel as bad.
This is your money, honey. Abuse me.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I get it, it's tough, and especially, it is a lot of money, in theory, that you're paying for coaching. But when you're breaking it down, week by week, session by session, whatever it may be, if you're lifting 3-4 times a week, it's not that much money.
It's way cheaper than personal training, and you get way more out of it. I'll say
100%.
People who pay for individual personal training sessions and they go multiple times a week. In each session, a cheap trainer is $60 an hour. Mm-hmm. A full coaching package is $300 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was working with that personal trainer, I was paying him $250 a month, and that was just workouts twice a week. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even any sort of, like, okay, if I'm going to go hit a third session, nutrition guidance, there was no, like, outside of his facility training plan, there was no sort of mindset coaching, like, nothing else. Literally just 2 hours a week, $250 a month. Like, and then when you told me how much you were, I was like, that's it, girl? But where do I sign? I'm like, I'm ready, okay? Obviously, not everyone's 24 hours is the same, and I totally recognize that. But it's still, like, if you're investing in yourself, that's the best investment you're going to make.
And I think of all the people blowing their money on, I'll say it, lip fillers, Botox, eyebrows, nails, eyelashes,
BBL.
Blush lips, BBL. But you won't invest in your long-term health. Why wouldn't you invest in building your body into the most beautiful thing so you always feel comfortable in your clothes and your skin is clearer and your digestion is better and you feel more confident? It just makes so much sense to me. I don't get it anymore.
Other thing is, like, you're going to spend your money, if you're just, like, wilding out doing whatever, if you're going to the bar every weekend, you're going to spend the same amount of money every month on a coach as you would at the bar. You know what I'm saying?
If not less, dude.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
if you live in a major city like Atlanta, easily I would spend, like, $100 a night on myself.
Easily. You're just choosing different, you know? Like, I was 19, all my friends were doing all that, and I was just like, I don't really care. I'd rather invest in my long-term health. Like, there's so many benefits to lifting and nutrition and learning how to be an adult and learn how to eat like an adult that a lot of my people that I'm surrounding myself with are now coming to me and asking, like, Skylar, how did you do it? Skylar, how did you do it? I'm like, well, I invested in myself really young. Thank God that I did when I did, because if I had tried to do it now, like, it would just be 10 times harder.
And that just goes to show how difficult choosing yourself and choosing your health and fitness can be when it feels like everybody else is doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Having to say no to going out, being like, am I a weirdo for not going out with all my friends? Am I a weirdo because I want to count my calories and I want to talk to my coach?
Yeah, I was like, that's like, bestie girl.
Dude, just another reason why coaching is so cool. Like, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people.
For sure.
If you're wanting to be fitness and all of your friends are roasting you for wanting to be fitness, it's going to make you feel like shit and it's going to make you not want to be fitness. But when you surround yourself with fitness people who make you feel normal, we're doing the same things, it's like so invigorating, like energizing.
It just goes. It doesn't feel like I'm a weirdo. It feels like I'm just doing...
This is us.
This is us.
Dude, I'd be sending her memes and she sends me memes back. We are knee deep in the bodybuilding drama. And keeping in mind that me and Skylar have never met in person.
Ever.
She lives in Seattle and I live all the way in Florida. Literally, we're as far as we could possibly be from each other. I didn't even think about that.
Couldn't be farther. So like you said, like surrounding yourself with people that are like you, like that's why that camp for me was so powerful, because all of those people that came to this camp wanted to be there and wanted to get better and wanted to be the best. And that's exactly what Strong Girls Fitness Club has done for me, is like that's given me now a group of ladies, and Benjamin, shout out. That a group of ladies that is like-minded, and you know, we all are trying to reach our goals, and we all are constantly messaging each other. That group chat popping, okay?
It is popping.
Every day. I'm like, what are the Strong Girls up to? Hey, Strong Girls of the world. Like, just how's everyone doing? You know,
it's like my Twitter. Instead of posting on Twitter, I just post what I'm thinking in the group chat.
Really, though. It's everything. And, like, connecting with all of these, like, amazing women across the country is, like, just incredible. It's such a safe place that I've always felt like that in the gym, you know, like, I've always felt like gym is my safe place. But now that I have it outside of the gym, it's, like, just, I can't even explain how much it brings me up.
Because we're not even working together anymore, but you're still popping off in the group chat.
Yeah, I stay in that group chat.
About that. You do stay in the group chat. That leads me to asking you, what did you think coaching would be like? Do you have any expectations, actually?
No, really, the only, like, thought I had about it was that it was going to be, like, kind of similar to a personal trainer, except I was going to learn how to eat, too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I didn't think that it was going to be what it was. Like, it was very much like, hey, I'm here for you, whatever you're going through, like, please talk to me. My grandma ended up passing away, I think, our first 6 months we were working together. And like having Marina's support through that was just so powerful, because she was like, okay, F the gym, like we're not doing that this week. Like that's, take time for yourself, be with your family. And like having that has just like, it's always stuck with me. And it's been, 2 years now that she's been gone, but still, like, I know that I can come to Marina with anything, and that I will still feel supported and loved, And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. Like, getting coaching was all around, like, it was like therapy and nutrition and personal trainer and, mindset coach, and like, okay, how do we grow through this, and how to, like, understand how to mess up and move forward and not mess up and fall off.
I always imagined that personal training or coaching would be a very transactional relationship. Like, I thought it would just be like me going in, they're going to drill sergeant me and tell me that I'm a little puss. They're going to beat me up, because that's how personal trainers used to, like, market themselves. And then I'm going to go home. But no, at the end of the day, we are human beings with feelings, and we need to connect with each other. How am I going to be able to milk the best out of you if you don't trust me? Yeah. How am I going to be able to milk the best out of you if, when someone who you love dearly passes away, I tell you no days off?
No, for sure. I think you're totally right. Like, it was very intimidating. And that's why I, for a long time, was like, I'm just going to watch her from afar, like, achieve her goals and do this thing and, have strong girls. But then I was like, why? Like, why? You deserve more for yourself. And then that's when that switch flipped, and I was like, okay, I'm going to inquire with her. And then, the rest is history. But I felt even on that first call, like, you were so understanding and so just, like, curious. Like, you just wanted to know all of the things. And, like, okay, so how did this one event, happen, and then this, and then this, and then what does that really look like? And why is this how you eat? And why is that, you were just so curious. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it like this. I was like, why do I eat like that? I was like, oh, and it's not just like, oh, it's okay, like, day off, it's okay, like, pat on the back even when you're not doing the work. Like, you still push me very hard, and, like, that's all I could ask for, it's not like, it's not like I felt, pushed to the point where it's like, I'm gonna fall off and never want to come back here, but it's pushed enough to where it's like, don't be a little puss, like, train hard, like, I think you can train harder.
I think my coaching style that I always go back to is, don't catch me caring more than you.
No, really.
I won't do it. So if we keep setting goals and you consistently keep falling short of those goals, we're going to keep having conversations of, does this goal really matter to you? Because most of the time, once you've established a health foundation, very simple, you're getting 6,000 steps a day, you're strength training maybe twice a week for 30 minutes, and you're actually eating enough, your health is already there. That doesn't necessarily mean your body is changing dramatically. So once your health is established, I always say any physical transformations that you want to have after that point is going to come down to personal preference and how bad you actually want it. It's not a moral failure to not look a certain way, to not look like a Victoria's Secret supermodel. That's a standard that you created for yourself in your head, albeit you've probably been influenced by the media and your upbringing and your mom and your dad and whatever. But after a certain point, we get to an age where we need to take responsibility for what it is that we feel and what it is that we believe. And I know that I had to have the rude awakening that if you truly wanted to lose weight, you would. And if you were truly ready to lose weight, you would. So I used to be a little bit more naive, and that I would come on the internet and be like, anyone can do it, anyone can lose weight, anyone can transform their bodies, anyone can choose their health. I really do believe this, but I don't think that body transformation or performing and being super strong, most maximally that you can be, is for everyone. What are some things you didn't expect to learn or gain from coaching?
The nutrition being as simple as it is. Like, one of the first things I remember you telling me is, like, the simpler you make this, the easier you're going to be to track, the easier it's going to be to digest, the easier it's going to be for you to, like, think about what you're eating, because if you're eating 3 ingredients, if you're eating chicken, broccoli, and rice, you know relatively how much to put. If you're doing all this extra stuff with your chicken, you're doing all this extra stuff with your broccoli, you're putting this dressing and that and this and the third, and trying to make these crazy like Pinterest bowls type beat. That's what I thought I was gonna have to do. Girl, I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. But no, when you said the simpler the better, that just like locked in. I was like, okay, 3 ingredients tops. Like, I don't know how to I do know how to grocery shop, but I don't know how to like shop to like fulfill my goals. But now I'm like, you say 3 ingredients, I can buy 3 ingredients at the store. And so I think that just like having your carb source, your protein source, and your vegetables, that was something that I was like, but I thought that eating right or eating to fuel would be a lot harder than this, a lot more complex, because that's what Pinterest and that's what Instagram has showed me, you know? This is my high protein,
to make, like,
with 17 ingredients.
Smoothies.
Random ass smoothies. No,
in
I was like, I am
bowls.
not doing all that. Yeah, I was like, no. But I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, the simpler the better was just such a like. It clicked in my brain
shift
when you said that. Yep. Yeah, so I was definitely
because
surprising
the simpler it is, the more you're going to be able to stick with it. And in the game of life, it's not about speed. It's about endurance.
And that's one thing that like I've been able to now pass on, like, to my mom. Like, my mom, she was a victim of the 90s diet culture and still diet culture, you know what I mean? And like growing up, like seeing her go through that, but then like for her to see me working with you and having this huge transformation in my body, like I was showing her my before and afters, and she was like, how'd you do that? Like, what kind of witchcraft did she give you? And I was like, protein, carb, and vegetable. That's it. I was like, repeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing crazy. It was nothing like revolutionary. It wasn't like you said earlier. It wasn't this like magical secret, this magical diet pill or diet tea or whatever. It was literally just prioritizing protein, vegetables, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Which you literally had never done before.
Ever. Like, ugh. So yes, that was definitely like, it's just been something that I've used in so many different, like, my friends always are asking me like, oh, what's for lunch whenever I'm at work, and I'm just like, chicken and rice. Maybe I'll eat a spinach something or other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard. Like, it is hard.
Literally whenever.
But it's not that hard. It's not like you're buying 45 ingredients to make 3 bowls and then the rest is just going to sit in the fridge. You know what I mean? Like, the simpler, the better. When I tell you my fridge is so basic right now, I've got broccoli, I have cucumbers, I have carrots, I have my chicken, and I have some juice, you know?
She'll send me like a picture of her breakfast, and it's like a bagel with cream cheese, a protein shake, and fruit. And she hit all 3. Carb, protein, fat. She did. So good. What was your main fear or reservation about starting coaching?
I definitely think that like the financial stress was something that was super intimidating for me, especially being 19. The money I'm like, pretty much all of my money that I was making is going to coaching, but I have 0 regrets.
I'm
like,
so
actually
honored.
Zero. At first I was like, oh my god, like there's no way I can do this. Like, there's actually no financial way. But then I was like, stop. I was like, look at what you're spending on all the rest of this BS that you don't need. I was like, just reframe and put it over here, okay? Reallocate it, you know? Like, that was definitely, like, a big reservation for me. And I was so, like, I don't know, like, what this is gonna be like. I was just really unsure, I think. But I knew that
the call clear it up, you think?
Yeah, it really did. And I felt, like, just so, like, reassured by you. Like, I never felt like, oh, you know, is this something I really want? Like, I was kind of going into it with, like, I do want to get coaching. I'm unsure if this is the right avenue, you know? But I was like, but I followed her for a really long time, and she walks the walk. She does all the things, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just, like, clicked with me. It was intimidating, but then getting past that first, it's literally just starting. That was the hard part. Like, getting that first, once that first payment had happened, and I was like, oh, this is fine. And I'm getting all of this out of this. Like, this is, like, real life stuff. Because it's, like, it's your health versus this money. Your health is probably going to outweigh it.
You can invest in your health now, or you can invest in your health later.
Right. And
it's probably later is going to be...
It's so much harder.
Later is going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah. There was a quote that I heard. I haven't fact checked it. But it was, like, like 90% of your habits are formed by the time you're 30 or something like that. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I better get started now.
Yeah.
I was like, because if I'm trying to start down there, it's going to be a lot harder and a lot more expensive, and just there's going to be a lot more going on in my life, you know? Because at the
Hopefully,
time...
right? That's usually what people want, is to have more stuff going on and being more established later in life.
Yeah.
So, for the people who are like, well, life is really busy right now, whenever life settles down, I'm going to start.
It's never going to.
Girl, I don't think life is going to settle down if you're trying to have kids, get married, travel, whatever people are doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, the younger, the better. What about now? Who are you now? Who are you now after coaching?
So almost a year post-coaching, I have been just maintaining my weight. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm still prioritizing my food. My nutrition is something that's really important to me, and I think will always be really important to me, because I do notice a difference when I do have those nights where I'm like, oh, let's just go to Taco Bell. Oh, let's just get this, whatever. Just, one here and there. And I, like, wake up the next day, I'm like, ooh, I do not feel good. No. I was like, let me get back on my chicken and rice, okay?
Sometimes eating out can be a fun and nice reminder of why you love your nutrition plan so much.
For
That's
sure.
just me, though.
I'm not actively strength training, which is something I never thought I would say. I've been in my hot yoga era. And so I've been doing, it's called Hot Works. They have, like, infrared saunas, and... they do different classes like hot yoga, hot core, all these different classes. They do like HIIT workouts in the hot sauna. And I think I needed a change, and I think I was just in a funk with lifting, and I think that's okay because I'm still moving my body and I'm still prioritizing myself. And the principle of it is that when you're actively working out and you're actively trying to better yourself and your life, you're gonna have more confidence, and I think that's something that's totally changed my life. Like, my confidence, I feel like, has never been where it is now, and I think that even though my fitness doesn't look the same as it did 3 years ago, as it did 2 years ago, it's still something that's always gonna be important to me. Same thing with my nutrition. Like, if I don't move my body or I don't hit my steps or whatever for the day, I'm gonna go to bed feeling kind of, like, sluggish, kind of wake up feeling the next day feeling sluggish, but...
Which, by the way, a coach should never make you feel like you should pick one style of movement over another, or like one form of movement is better than another. The only thing you should know is definitely get your steps in, just generally moving more throughout your day. Somehow train your heart for 20 minutes at least twice a week, and somehow incorporate some type of resistance training at least 2 times a week as well. But you're doing that with HotWorks. So a good coach would be like, wow, Skylar, that's so amazing that you found a type of movement that you love. Please keep doing it. I'm so glad that you were brave enough and you trusted yourself enough to move away from a style of training that was no longer serving you.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, doing that, and I'm really enjoying the challenge that yoga's giving me, that, strength training wasn't necessarily. Like, the balance of yoga is so hard. Like, I was like, oh yeah, it'll be what it is, whatever, nothing crazy. But no, now I'm like in it, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, just hold it. So it's very hard, but it's hard in a different way. Like, and I really like it, and I enjoy the challenge, and I feel
yoga
like
has a lot of like calisthenics.
Yeah, I'm still, like, getting better at it, and it's something, again, like, it's something to work towards. The whole reason that I got coaching in the first place is I wanted something to work towards, and, because I was going to the gym, but I was just kind of aimlessly going, I wasn't locked in, I wasn't working towards XYZ, but now I'm not getting coaching, and I'm still like, okay, well, I need a goal to work towards. That's something that's always been important to me. Like, with basketball, like, we always had a goal to work towards. We always had something we were trying to, like, achieve, something we were trying to do. But now I'm, like, just a free lady in the world, and I'm like, okay, well, now I want to be better at yoga, And strength training is always going to be there. They do have, like, a functional strength training area at the gym, so it's pretty cool. It's, like, a mix of both, and, like, if I do want to lift a weight, I can lift a weight, but I don't necessarily have to. And that's something that's been like super cool, just because it's different. It's still one of my highest priorities, you know? If I don't get my workout in that day, I'm like, did you do anything today? No.
And I hope all of my clients take that away from coaching, how to just keep showing up. Now your foundation is so strong that even on your worst day, you're still doing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Your meal might look really fugly, but you're still getting your carbs, proteins, and fats in.
Literally.
Or you might only exercise for 20 minutes, but you still got 20 minutes in.
I just have to tell myself a Netflix episode of a show is longer than the workout's going to be. You're going to scroll on your phone for longer than the workout's going to be. Again, it's just about how are you allocating your resources, your money? Are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in coaching? Maybe it's not for you, but how are you spending your money? How are you spending your minutes in your day? Because it's the same thing, you know? And the same thing with, like, your calories. How are you allocating those? Are you allocating it to some BS that's going to make you feel good for 5 minutes? Or are you going to allocate something that's going to reach your goals, that's going to fuel you for 3, 4, 5 hours before your next meal? Perspective, it's like, what are you doing with what you have? You know, it's like you may not be the richest person in the world, but you could be really strong and very rich in life and very, like, it's all about perspective, like you said.
Yeah. I love those social media posts where they show two people saying the exact same thing, but carrying their life out very differently. So, like, it'll be the person being like, oh, I just don't have time. And then they get McDonald's and the other person is like, oh, I don't have time either. And it's a protein shake and an apple.
Oh, I just don't feel like it versus I don't feel like it. And this person is the one that's going to sit on the phone and scroll. And this person's going to be the one that gets up and goes for a walk and goes do some sort of movement.
You don't have to act on everything that you feel.
Yeah.
That's a very powerful thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately. You don't have to act on everything that you feel. You can just sit in it. And if you're looking at us, think to yourself, whoever's listening out there, and you're like, well, that's easy for y'all to say this and that. You probably still have a lot of mindset work to do. You don't have to do it alone either.
Right.
Surround yourself with people who think like the person that you want to become, and you're going to start thinking like them too. It's fucking contagious.
Yes. That was another thing. Like, fake it till you make it. That is so, like, corny and so whatever, but it works. Like, I'm telling you, it works. When I think about the person that I was, did I think that I'm the most, like, well-versed in fitness and nutrition and all this? No. Did I fake it the first 5 months that I worked with you? Yeah. And I learned, and I sat there, and I absorbed, and, like, that was the biggest thing, is I was just like, okay, yep, we're tracking all of these things, we're tracking our workouts, we're tracking this, because that's what you said. That's exactly what you told me, and that's exactly why I saw the results I saw. I didn't know what I was doing, I just listened.
I literally think that I made a fitness account 2 months into being consistent. I started my fitness journey, like, being consistent for real, and never looking back, January 1st of 2020. March 2020, I already had Strong Girl Mar. And I feel like there was something about posting that was helping me embody and be the person that I wanted to be, because even though I only had, like 10 followers, to me, 10 people were watching. And I was like, and I need to prove them and prove to myself that I'm going to fucking prove everyone wrong, and I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to do what I said that I was going to do. Fast forward to now, 5 years into the future, or almost 6, because we're fucking halfway through 2025.
It's crazy.
So yeah, like Skylar was saying, I think there's a lot to be said about faking it till you make it. Just acting like the person that you want to become until you become them, until you convince yourself that you are them. I don't know, never say never.
Yeah.
Because you can convince yourself, oh, I'm just not a morning person. Next thing you know, if you believe it enough, you can become a morning person. Oh, I just don't like cooking. If you believe it enough and you want to, you will learn to like cooking. For a while there, did you know that for a while I was like, I think strength training just isn't for me?
I didn't know this.
Never say never, yeah. Because I had been trying for so many years on and off to get into strength training, and I couldn't get into it because I wasn't addressing the thing that I needed to address, which was my mindset, my mental health. And so...
That's crazy.
That's what I believed for a long time. Look at me now. Look at us. Look at us. Who'd have thought? Look at us. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about taking the leap?
Just do it. I have no, like, literally just do it. I get that you're on the fence. I was too once. You will never look back. You will never look back and regret working with Marina. You actually will not. Unless you are not putting the work in, you are not doing the protocol that she's giving you, you're not going to regret it. I actually couldn't think of a single, like, oh, maybe no. Like, literally not one regret, not one thing that was, you know, could have been different or better or whatever and improve my experience. Like, taking that leap was the best thing I could have done for myself and the best thing I could have done for my long-term health, because it's been 3 years since I first started working with you, and I still embody that person that you made me to be, basically, every day. I do my grocery shopping every week. I get my workouts in every week. I hit my steps every day. Like, it's all of these things that are just a culmination of habit stacking. Like, we talk about this all the time, and like, just those small little things you just start building and building and building, and it's not going to come all at once. You're not one day going to wake up at 5 a.m., go hit your workout, make your breakfast, do this thing, go for your walk in the morning, go train and get hair cardio sessions. Like, that's not just going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen overnight, period. But if you slowly build up these things, if you just start going on a walk for 5 minutes a day, if you just start listening to your coach, that's all you have to do.
What's 5 minutes a day gonna do for me? You are proving to yourself that when you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. And that's gonna build self-trust, that's gonna build confidence, and it's gonna energize you and give you the
momentum,
the belief in yourself, the momentum to take that next step. Next thing you know, you're walking for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but you have to start somewhere. Even if it feels like nothing, you are developing the skills, the characteristics, the self-belief in order to become the person that you're trying to become.
100%.
Boom.
Banger.
So okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.